I am a working mother, and I also go to school full-time.
My husband and I, we brought our son and daughter here in the 1980s. I'm the only dude up here right now. My name is Rashi.
Yo, didn't we have contributed none to the world?
Those who cannot remember the past are doomed to repeat it.
Oh, here we are. Here we go.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. So I have to start by saying that I am so thrilled to be here with the great John Leguizamo, the great.
Thank you. Very sweet of you.
And as I think you know, John, part of what's so thrilling about this, why I jumped at the chance, is I get to not only interview you, but I also get to sort of have a play date here. And John, as you know, a play date for me, it's actually the name of my new podcast, Playdate with Sarah Jones, where I get to interview people I adore, and I get to do it in character, which I am doing right now. For those of you who don't know me, I don't really talk like this. But it is the Women in the World Summit. It's a very international feeling. It tends to bring out the Brit in a person, don't you think? It tends to just bring it out. There's a bit of Tina Brown just leaps forward, you know. So, but in all seriousness, I should just sit up here and talk the way I really talk. This summit is all about...
Queens in the house.
That's right. It's all about women empowering themselves with their own authentic voices, so I will talk the way I really talk.
That's your authentic voice.
That's my authentic voice. I'm from Queens, New York, like this guy over here.
Queens, New York.
Like this guy.
Not my parents.
Not your parents.
The neighborhood.
The neighborhood.
I'm not from Queens.
But we do speak the Queen's English.
Yes, we do.
You know what I mean.
We do.
We do. Sounds like
It just
this.
happens. We start talking to each other, it gets very New Yorky.
100%. We're just going to pretend you're not here.
Yeah, exactly. See you later.
We'll see you later. So here's the thing, John.
Yes.
Without you, I would not do what I do. You are one of the people I saw first. And watching you embody characters of different backgrounds, well, I'll just let a couple of friends come out and ask you the questions they're dying to ask. And so you know, in the audience, John can answer as anybody he wants to be too. So this is basically going to be the largest panel of the entire summit, but with only 2 chairs. All right.
Okay, so first of all, hi everybody, I'm so thrilled to be here, and John Leguizamo, I'm quelling just to be here, sitting next to him. I've seen you on Broadway. You've done, you've done as many movies as years I've been alive. You know.
Yeah, about 100.
Yeah, about 100. Well, listen.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to insult you.
Not quite 100 yet. I should be so lucky. But what I want to say to you, sweetheart, is your new show. Okay. You know, I'm here because of the girl Sarah Jones, who puts us in her shows, what she calls her one-woman show. And you know what that means. She takes the credit, that's right, and she takes the credit and makes us come out and do all the work. Now, you would never do that to your characters.
Maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
I mean, I just did this new show, Latin History for Morons, and it's about my...
It's on now, and you have to see it. It's at the Public Theater. Don't leave right now, but as soon as, you know, pace yourselves. Go on.
You know, and I talk about my kids and my wife, and I hadn't told them at all until they saw it this past week after 3 years.
Wait, so...
Because I was afraid of their reaction.
So I just want to say, first of all, that, hi guys, my name is Bella, and I am here because, like, John Leguizamo, like, I grew up on, like, Ice Age, like, all of them. And, like, your voice has been, like, part of my identity, like, since I was pre-verbal. So, like...
this voice?
Maybe.
That's the Sid voice from Ice Age. That's right.
Okay. Can I just be, like, really terrible and, like, take a selfie with Sid?
Take a selfie away. There we go. That's fantastic.
I'm sorry, guys. I know it's an international women's conference and we're being empowered. Just give me 1 sec. Hi, guys.
What's up?
It's me with John Leguizamo.
Hey now.
We're at Women in the World, and it's like
It's so cool.
amazing. Okay, so like, seriously though, like I'm a feminist.
Yes.
Like I was named for like Bella Abzug, who's like a famous feminist from like history.
Yeah, I remember her. She came to my high school when I was a kid.
Oh my God.
With the hats. She had all the hats.
Totally. So like you in your shows, like you are able to portray like women and girls. Like I've seen Latin history for morons, and like you even portray your own daughter.
Yes.
In like a way that's like there are some dudes that you'd be like, don't do that. Like don't touch that.
Yeah.
But like you have like a reverence for like female characters. How did that come about for you?
Well, I mean, I was raised by a single mom.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've always had mad respect for women, and my mom made sure I had that respect.
Mad respect.
Yeah. And you know, I always treat a character that way. You know, I always create a character with as much dignity as possible, because, you know, I was taught by Lee Strasberg, one of the great acting teachers in the world.
That's like amazing that you were taught like by that person. For me, that's like a book. It's not like an actual person.
I know. I was in his class for a day, and I acted, and I think it killed him because my acting was that bad. But
I don't believe you, like at all.
no, he
about
did
that.
die that night.
Oh, that's very upsetting.
He passed away. But I stayed in the school, and I continued, and improved myself, and then kill any more teachers.
Yeah, please don't do that. 'Cause, like we need you to be around. And actually, that brings me to someone else who I'd really like you to be able to like meet. She's like super stoked to meet you.
I can't wait.
Yeah, well, I just want to say that like.
Well, it was great knowing you.
Thank you. And like as a white woman, like I want to be really clear that like, you know, like my privilege would make me like want to monopolize the time. So I just want to yield the space back to like.
Thank you for your inclusivity.
Yeah, totes. It's all
and
about
sensitivity to people of color.
Exactly, and like intersectional feminism. Like we all need to be as woke as possible at all times.
Oh, woke, get woke.
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Nereida, and I'm a little bit speechless right now because like I'm sitting next to John Leguizamo, which like you have to understand if you're me. Like first of all, I'm half Dominican, half Puerto Rican. I'm all proud.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I'm half Colombian, half Puerto Rican. Colomboricua.
I know, you're Colomboricua, which you made that up, and I'm like, oh, that means I could be Dominican.
Dominican.
So you
Yeah.
totally-
And
Right.
my wife is Jewish, so my kids are Jew-Ricans. And I got Cuban friends who have Cuban, half Jewish.
I think this is everything right now. I think you're pretty much the solution to like all of the problems that we have in the country.
That's it, man. Just marry somebody from an opposite religion or opposite race, and the world is fixed.
Well, I wish you could take them. I wish you could take that message to Washington, D.C., because, like, really, I'm being very serious right now.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
As a Latina, especially in these times that we're living in, it's like there are people in our communities that have to worry about somebody actually coming to their door and taking away their family members right now.
Oh, my God. Right now in Queens, in the neighborhood that I grew up with, my mother, who was an immigrant, I'm an immigrant, my father, my whole family are immigrants. And right now, they're grabbing people on the streets, 60-year-old women with their carts, pushing them, knocking them to the ground, then grabbing them and taking them away. Right now, as we sit here. And, but we're going to try to be funny.
Well, so I was going to say, here's the challenge, right, is that we are all here because you all are leaders in your communities.
Right.
John, you're a public figure. You use your platform in such a powerful way. And I have to say, like, for me, you know, like, I get to go with Sarah Jones and meet different people all over the world and everything. But, like, when I come home, I want to feel safe. I want to feel respected in my community. And it's like, you look at everything. Our government right now, I mean, the Supreme Court, it's like I can barely sleep thinking about the choices that are being made. And let me tell you this, I get to try to remember, affirm us. We have to, like, sometimes I say this affirmation that I have is the 3 little words that always make me feel better. Sotomayor, Sotomayor, Sotomayor. And then you just
that works for me.
breathe it in.
Yes.
Breathe it in. But you're very active. Like, I mean, first of all,
Resist and persist every single day in every action. I feel like we can all do something. It doesn't matter how small an action you can take against sort of what's going on in our country, sort of the takeover of our country and our real values, our real democracy, our respect for women, our respect for foreigners, immigrants, is not being as condoned as it should be by POTUS 45. And I think we have to do everything we can on Twitter, social media, knocking door to door and making sure we turn midterm elections 2018 blue.
So, my dude, John, I'm saying it's real good to be here with you. You know what I'm saying? Sarah Jones be bringing me to these women's events.
Yeah, what's up, what's up?
What's up? My name is Rashid. I'm saying no disrespect to women. I love women, you know what I'm saying? But when you go to a lot of women's summits over and over again, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be all you want to let them have their situation. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not about you anymore.
It ain't about me.
It ain't about you for a change.
That's a little bit difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've been watching dudes.
Get over yourself.
I got to get over. But I've been watching dudes. Is you know what I'm saying? Justin Trudeau, you know, speaking here.
Yeah.
It's like, it's an example, you know what I'm saying? Maybe if you respect women and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? It's a sign that you more secure with your masculinity. So I just want to say I respect all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I see that from you, though. You be role modeling
women
that.
can't wait for us men to evolve. You can't wait for us to
Y'all
evolve.
ain't got time to wait for all that.
You
It's
got to
true.
take charge now and make the changes that you have to make and not wait for us because we're too damn slow at evolving.
So now, but John, I want to come back here for just a minute. Okay, it's me again.
Oh, you're back.
It's Lorraine.
You took a little break.
I took a little break, but you know, at my age, your bladder. Anyway, that's not appropriate to say in a gathering like this. But that's why Sarah doesn't let me come out very often.
I got somebody you should date.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Can I meet him?
Oh,
Is
yes,
he
right here. I've been waiting for you all this time. Where have you been all my life?
Oh my God.
I love you. You're fantastic. This is, your heart's cavelling, mine's cavelling. Together we go together somewhere, you know. Get a little nosh.
You know, I knew that you were raising lovely Jewish children.
I saw you were doing Pesach. Happy Pesach to everybody out there.
Happy Pesach to you, sweetheart, in advance. Listen,
Gesund,
I'm a little swept off my feet. I was already sitting down, but I should be on the floor.
Oh, hey, it's a little, but you're moving a little quick for me.
Oh,
Getting on the floor already. I don't know if I can do those positions anymore.
I don't know what to say except, are you available? I know John's very busy, but are you available after the show?
All I have is time.
Wonderful. I mean, wonderful. I love meeting you. We'll talk after.
Yeah, we'll go to definitely talk.
Well, so I want to know if can John come back for a second?
Yeah, John is right here.
Okay. So, John, somebody wants to meet you who, you know, you, as I said, you're very outspoken. I mean, on social media, I follow you. I know I can always turn to you for, you know, really forthright, like especially someone who's in your position. You have millions of fans around the world, and you are very clear about your politics. And, well, I'll just let her ask the question.
I want to be, first of all, I just want to take a moment to say that I read recently that, my name is Habiba, first of all. Assalamu alaikum to everybody.
Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Alhamdulillah. Inshallah.
So wait for that part.
Okay.
We need to say it as well all the time, that inshallah we will come through all of what is happening now. But what I wanted to say is that I read your background includes actually Lebanese ancestry, and that if we look back at all of the American people, there is no one who is not in some way their life touched by all of the regions of the world. And it moved me to realize that you have perhaps the same heritage that I have, and that if we all paid more attention, learned more about those roots, instead of being focused on the fear-mongering, I could be deported before I find out I am your cousin.
Yeah, we gotta hook up quick.
We don't have a lot of time.
No, we don't. But it's, you know, Latin people, we're such a huge mix of different peoples, you know, there's a lot of Latin people who are Lebanese. Shakira, Salma Hayek, Carlos Slim.
Yes.
And my mother's father was half Lebanese, so it makes me, I think, a 16th.
That's plenty.
Unless my
It's
math
plenty.
is not as good as my verbal skills.
That is good enough. It is, and what people need
Just
to realize,
a drop is all you need.
A drop is plenty.
Yeah.
Because the point is for people to realize that we are more the same than we are different. And when you are otherizing, you are actually cutting off a part of yourself.
Absolutely.
Right.
The more you travel, yes, please. Beautiful sentiment. I miss her already.
She really is worried about being deported. Like, I really do try to not let her hang out too much anywhere,
right.
because I mean, it's a shame to say this, but even as I perform my characters, and I don't know if you find this with Latin History for Morons, I got to see it in Berkeley. And I know that here in New York, it's run there, it's at the Public Theater, and I know that you've added more history, but you were saying some places where you were starting to work out the material, people didn't want to hear the history.
I was in comedy clubs, and people are drunk, and they just didn't want information. They wanted jokes 24/7. So when I got out of the comedy clubs and back into theaters, then people wanted the history, and I put a lot of the history back, not completely the way I originally had it, but I had to work out a perfect balance of history, personal life, analogies, so people can stomach. You know, use humor to tell real political, commentary, social commentary. Use humor to smuggle this information in.
Now, do you ever feel burdened because you're such a prodigious talent? Do you ever feel like, I am almost saddled with all of this history. Nobody else is telling it. I have to take my talents and, kind of create this education. It's not that your work is educational, it's entertaining, but it almost is like there's the burden as a person of color or as someone who comes from a marginalized
No,
group.
not at all, not at all.
Feel that?
It's such a liberating research that I was doing. It just set me, it depressed me and it angered me, but it still gave me the power, like James Baldwin said, knowing your history takes away the limits, and there's no place that you can't go. And I really felt that. I mean, I did the show because my son was being bullied in his expensive little private school, and I couldn't believe that my son was going through the same racial rite of passage that I had to go through. But I was in public schools in a very tough Queens neighborhood that didn't really want minorities. So
you didn't have to pay for your racism.
No.
It's free. Gratis.
Right.
Gratis. Racism's just part of the show.
Yeah, it was like that. We're like, my parents and I were like pioneers because we were the first Latin family in the neighborhood. So yeah, you're going to get a beating, but not my son. I mean, why was he being treated like the way I was? And so I started teaching my son and doing research because I didn't know enough about my history, learning that Latin people fought in the American Revolutionary War, 10,000 unknown Latino patriots. In the Civil War, 20,000 Latin people fought, and we had generals and officers. In every single war this country has ever had since the beginning of the country, we have fought and been the most awarded ethnic group of minority. And that is not in one textbook that I read as a child, or my son read, or his bullies had read.
And so I want to say thanks to you. First of all, my name is Gary Wiesel. That is my actual name.
That's a tough name to grow up with.
It's not easy. It's easier if you grow up where I did on a reservation and other people have similar names. But as a Native American person, I'm half Lakota, half Blackfeet, and as another person said, all proud. But, when I saw your show, first of all, it's not easy being Native, with everything that happened with Standing Rock, and it's like we had a little more visibility for a minute. People remembered we exist, besides just their football mascots and trendy Native fashion accessories. But then to have all of that happen, it feels like we're invisible as people. And, I'm actually a comedian, believe it or not. I love that you started out in comedy. I read that. And well, usually I'm most popular on college campuses, whenever they want to do their diversity day, or, hey, we're not all white week,
That's when you show up.
Then I'm there. I'm there.
You're kind of like a mascot again.
It happens, but we do what we can where we have to. But your show talks about how really the history we're seeing play out today, whether it's Standing Rock or, frankly, our foreign policy, there's a disconnect where people don't understand this is stolen land. That's my experience as a Native person. And
it's crazy that Andrew Jackson, one of the biggest genocidal maniacs of this country, is on the $20 bill.
Exactly, and I'm not a fan.
It just makes no sense. It's like the Trail of Tears This man was so, Andrew Jackson was so disgusting that he learned that if you killed Native American people's wives and children while they were hunting, it would be easier to kill the men because they were demoralized.
That's right.
This is the guy who's on the $20 bill who's POTUS 45's biggest hero.
Not a surprise. So again,
Not a surprise.
making those connections, and you do that in your show. And I was so moved. As a Native person, first of all,
You're not the only one. I've had a lot of Native American people come up to me and go, I was
Thank you.
crying during your show.
Thank you, brother.
And I was like, yeah, because Latin people, most of us are at least 40% Native American, Incan, Mayan,
That's right.
Aztec,
Aztec.
you know, Muisca,
right.
Navajo, Comanche, Apache, all the Northwest
right.
tribes.
That's right.
So there's someone I want you to meet who is feeling all of these connections. And again, I really hope, thank you, look at that. And it's feminist chivalry. You can feel it. It's not it's not like I have to help her. It's like,
No.
I'm her equal and I'm gonna just, partner and collaborate.
Yeah,
It's
it's
collaborative.
teamwork. It's
I
not,
love it.
It's not diminishing you.
I love it. This is, so I wanted you to meet somebody because, as I said, all of your work has influenced, from your films to your television work to all of the work you've done, awards beyond, it's too much to even name. And your humility is so powerful, John, and it's palpable from the stage. It democratizes the theater. And working in theater myself, it's so powerful
isn't it a great
to see
feeling?
your audience. But your audience is diverse. It's filled with women.
Yeah.
It's filled with, and
I love it, man. I feel like my work is really reaching its apex when I see a diverse crowd.
Yes.
Young, old, men, women, white, black, Latin, Asian, and they're in the house and we're all laughing together. And they're all being moved together.
Yes.
It's such a powerful feeling that you go, that's when the work is worthwhile. That's when theater is supposed to be a place where people evolve.
Yes.
It's an exchange of thoughts. And it's called a leave-sight proposition, that when we experience certain words or certain sentences, our brains change and our personalities change and we're changed forever. And I'm a big proponent of that.
Well, I want to tell you, John Leguizamo, that you have changed me forever. My name is Praveen. I just want to quickly say, I know we joke a bit back and
I think
forth.
I've heard you on the phone a few times when I had to get my computer fixed.
I thought you might go there. I thought you might go
I'm
there.
sorry.
It's okay. I can take a joke.
Thank you.
But
That's very big of you.
thank you. At least you did not make the joke that I must be a doctor.
Yeah.
But you went the other way, IT or medicine.
Yes,
those are my
yeah.
two options. But what I want to tell you, John, is that everything that you're saying now, we are now looking at a global context. I am from the global south.
Mm-hmm.
Many people here, we know that this planet, it's finite. We share it together. And I think the thing that I left with your show, this kind of hope for the self-determination of all people, if we are willing to look at history honestly and reckon with that,
Right.
and then begin to make the changes that we need without blame, shame, and God forbid, wars and foreign policy that continues to create instability. I don't want to be too pointed here. But my point is that until we begin to have that conversation in a more honest way, we are working at cross purposes with our own people. And so I suppose I want to say to you, with Latin History for Morons, what do you hope people walk away from? Some hope that we can take with us.
Well,
No pressure. No
pressure. I'll sum it up quick. Well, the whole play is about forgiveness. Forgiveness of the history that happened to Latin people, and the 500 years of bullying, and then the bullying my son received, and the bullying that I received, and the bullying we're receiving from POTUS 45.
Wow. All those dots connecting.
Right. But you still got to forgive, because you can't move forward, and we got to be inclusive, and we got to work together, and that's where power lies.
Right.
That's where the evolution of civilization works, is when we work together and accept each other's differences as strengths.
So forgiveness, and I absolutely, and
That's civilization.
that is civilization.
Lack of civilization is the opposite.
The resentment, and I've heard it said that resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die.
Right.
And
Unless you're with Putin, and then,
then you're right.
that's real poison
You
that
might
you're
have
drinking.
drunk poison anyway. Right.
We're not going to get in trouble. We're not going to have an international incident here on this stage. No. Well, we will leave on this note, since we are both suddenly stepping out into Russian. Oh, God.
Yes.
So what we want to say is to all people from all backgrounds.
We're all here together to be together because I'm not Putin, really, I'm not.
And for that, I can only say spasiba, which means thank you.
Yes, thank you. До свидания.
Okay, but we will now stick with our English so that I can tell you, John Leguizamo, in real voice, that I, Sarah Jones, who adore you.
Oh, I love you back, baby.
I only adore
You're
you more.
fantastic.
I only adore
How
you
great
more.
is this woman?
Thank you so much. How great is this man?
Let's give a big hand.
How great is this man?
Thank you, women in the world. Thank you, John Leguizamo.
Thank you, Sarah.